Okay, again, so I'm going to work on this side over here, but I'm just going to rewrite this side over here as 1 over cosine 2 theta, just for the time being, because hopefully you recognize that secant is just 1 over cosine, so I can write it like that. So I'm going to rewrite this in terms of cosines. So this is 1 over cosine squared theta all over 2 minus 1 over cosine squared theta. I have a common denominator of cosine squared, so I'm going to multiply by cosine squared over cosine squared. My numerator just becomes 1. My denominator becomes 2 cosine squared theta, and then I multiply this by this and get minus 1. Well, I know this is one of my cosine 2 thetas, so cosine 2 theta, which is equal to secant 2 theta, which I get a check. So nobody's looking. Nobody even know I cheated. Okay, this one's actually pretty involved. I know that tan theta is 1 plus cosine over 1 plus sine over cosine, no, 1 plus sine over 1 plus cosine theta. Sorry. So this is 1 minus the sine of theta all over 1 plus cosine theta. This quantity is squared all over 1 plus the sine of theta all over 1 plus the cosine of theta quantity squared. So I get 1 minus sine squared theta, and I'm just going to leave the denominator as 1 plus cosine theta squared for the time being, and 1 plus sine squared theta all over 1 plus cosine theta squared. So I have a common denominator. I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 1 plus cosine quantity squared, 1 plus cosine theta quantity squared. So this over here is going to give me 1 plus cosine theta squared minus sine squared theta. And because when I multiply this and this, those two cancel. So again, I multiply this 1 by 1 plus cosine squared, cosine theta squared, and then this cancels to that, so I get plus sine squared theta. Now I'm going to multiply this, so I get 1 plus 2 cosine theta plus cosine squared theta. Oops, that's a minus. Minus sine squared theta all over 1 plus 2 cosine theta plus cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta. Okay, so this sine squared plus this cosine squared equals 1. And since I want my final answer only to be in terms of cosine, I'm going to change this sine squared into 1 minus cosine squared theta. So let's just draw a little line here. So I get 1 plus 2 cosine theta plus cosine squared theta minus 1 minus cosine squared theta all over, these two become 1, so I get 1 plus 2 cosine theta plus 1. So let's distribute the negative, so I get 1 plus 2 cosine theta plus cosine squared theta minus 1 plus cosine squared theta all over 2 plus 2 cosine theta. So these two ones cancel, and these two together make 2 cosine theta. So I have 2 cos theta plus 2 cosine squared theta all over, I'm going to take a 2 out of the denominator, so I get 1 plus cosine theta. Hopefully you see where this is going. Let's just take out a 2 cosine theta out of the numerator. So 2 cosine theta, 1 plus cosine theta, all over 2, 1 plus cosine theta. Those two cancel. The 2's 2 cancel, and I get cosine theta. Okay, so here I have two fractions. I need a common denominator. I could work on this side here, but it's going to be a little cumbersome. I'm just going to work on this side over here by getting common denominator. So I'm going to multiply this one by, so I'm just going to rewrite the problem here. Hold on a second. Okay, so I just rewrote the left-hand side. I'm going to use the common denominator, so I'm going to multiply this denominator with this guy over here. So this is cosine of theta plus sine theta all over cosine of theta plus sine theta. And I'm going to rewrite this side, multiplying by this common denominator of cosine theta minus sine theta all over cosine theta minus sine theta. So I'm going to multiply the numerator now, and I get cosine squared theta. Oops, I don't want black. Excuse me, I don't want red. Cosine squared theta plus, when I multiply this stuff, I get 2 cosine theta sine theta plus sine squared theta minus the quantity. Multiplying those two, I get the same thing, except I get a negative 2 sine cosine in the middle. 2 cosine theta sine theta, and I get plus sine squared theta all over. I'm going to multiply the denominator, so I have no middle terms since these are, I don't know what you call it. Doesn't matter. So we get cosine squared theta minus sine squared theta. So I'm going to distribute this negative. I'm going to rewrite the denominator as cosine 2 theta, because really we have 2 tan 2 theta here, which I'm going to write a little note is 2 sine 2 theta all over cosine 2 theta. Okay, so this cosine squared plus sine squared is 1, so we get 1 plus 2 sine theta cosine theta. I just switched the order, hope you don't mind. Distributing this negative, excuse me, let's first just make this 1. So these two together make 1. So this is negative 1 minus 2 sine theta cosine theta. I don't know why I parentheses there. All over. I'm going to make this cosine 2 theta. There's my denominator all set. So I now have, distributing this negative, I have 1 plus 2 sine theta cosine theta minus 1 plus 2 sine theta cosine theta all over cos 2 theta. These two ones cancel, and this becomes 4 sine theta cosine theta all over cosine 2 theta. Hopefully you notice that this numerator up here is 2 times 2 sine theta cosine theta. So really this is 4, which is what we have here. So I'm going to take a, sort of, not really take a 2 out, but just write 4 as 2 times 2. Sine theta cosine theta all over cosine 2 theta. So this is 2 sine 2 theta all over cosine 2 theta, which is equal to 2 tan 2 theta. So again, just so I don't get in trouble for working on both sides of the equal sign, that's gone.